Aloha and welcome. My name is Taylor Norris, and I'm a certified Galactic Astrology soul reader and Reiki master teacher. And in today's video, we will be exploring together the Scorpio full moon on April 23rd, 2024. Thank you so much for being here with me today. Before we dive into the secretive and mysterious Scorpio full moon, I would like to invite you to a class I'm teaching on April 20th on the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction in Taurus. This is by far one of the biggest, most exciting transits of the year. And I'm so excited to share this class that combines galactic astrology information, teaching, insights, and awareness with a very healing, empowering Reiki journey that will help you consciously integrate and be in relationship with Jupiter, Uranus, and the stars that they are making alignments with. So, this is a safe way to invite in galactic contact, which is a lot of what this conjunction is all about, and really receive the higher frequencies that are streaming through this alignment that are so powerful and so very needed at this time. You can learn more about that class on my website, taylornorrisreiki.com. Here we have the charts of the full moon at 4 degrees Scorpio in 18 minutes. And I would like to just show off these charts for just a moment here and celebrate them in their full glory. These charts come from galacticastrochart.com, where Hector and the IT team and Julia Balaz have been making all of these upgrades to our charts. So the chart on the right is kind of the normal chart. Many of you who have been working with galactic astrology and watching my videos have seen this chart before. But what's new is this chart wheel that shows the planets and the points and which stars are conjunct significant planets and points. So this allows us to look at the stars on the zodiac wheel. And this is just so exciting. And just reading that into the story of where we are as a collective, I feel like by having this technology, being able to see the stars with the planets in such a concise way is really encouraging us to do so, to consider the stars and their energies merging and streaming through each of the planets and the significant points in the chart. The stars are wanting to engage with us. We are ready to engage with them. And this is so very exciting. The Scorpio full moon at 4 degrees, 18 minutes of Scorpio is marked here with the arrows. So you're going to want to find in your chart where is 4 degrees, 18 minutes of Scorpio. This is the house that the full moon is occurring in your birth chart. And you can also look at the sun. Where's the sun at 4 degrees, 18 minutes of Taurus? And you can see which two life areas will be showing some completions. There will be an opportunity for awareness. Full moons are about completions, endings, becoming aware of something. This can be a kind of culminating energy. And it's really interesting here reading this chart. I was having trouble getting into it, to be honest. And it seems like there's a lot of like secret potential and mysteriousness potential. And I think this has to do so much with this is the full moon that is following two eclipses and the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction. So this full moon is really striking off a new lunar cycle. So we will be out of the Libra Aries lunar cycle and starting the Scorpio Taurus cycle that will be followed by a Taurus new moon. So this is kind of taking us out of eclipse season, and it feels like kind of a grand entrance out of eclipse season. And that there's a lot going on beneath the surface here. Okay, why do I say that? Well, with Scorpio as a zodiac sign in general, that's fair to say about Scorpio energy. It's fixed water, it's deep, it's infinitely deep. It likes to keep things close to the chest. There can be issues with trust, there can be issues with betrayal and a real desire and longing for intimacy and such a high degree of loyalty when that intimate bond is forged. But there can be a sense of really, really merging with another, really unifying with another, and really having this very deep soul connection. The sign of Scorpio is ruled by the planet Mars. This is the ancient ruler, as well as the planet Pluto, the modern ruler of Scorpio. And so it has this divine masculine energy part to it, but it's also, as a water sign, has this divine feminine quality to it, a yin quality to it, an emotional quality to it. So this can be a time where emotions are running very high. This can be an enhanced time of emotional activity. So know that, be, gentle with yourself, be gentle with others, have that awareness. This can be a very sensitive time. So, inherent in the Scorpio nature is a lot going on beneath the surface, but also the fact that the sun and the moon aren't really super aspected at this time. This was kind of surprising. The only major planet aspects to the sun and the moon at this time, the moon biquintile Neptune. So this is a magical current of energy coming between Neptune and the moon. The biquintile aspect is an aspect of creativity, of gifts and talents. It's a metaphysical aspect. So it's blending the world of matter with the world of the invisible and the ethereal. So there is an infusion of this Neptunian energy of divine love. This can make the emotion stronger. This can make it so that it seems like, oh my gosh, there's just so much I'm feeling. But really, the invitation here is to let go with Neptune, let dissolve, forgive, heal, be compassionate to yourself, be compassionate to others, forgive yourself, forgive others, allow yourself to have the emotional experience and ride the wave through rather than attached to the emotional experience, and understand that others will be feeling the emotions too, and that that's okay. That's normal and healthy after the tremendous activations that we've had with the eclipses and with Jupiter and Uranus. The Jupiter and Uranus change could have brought up so much change for people. This transit could have brought up so much change and disruption for people, that this is like a kind of regrounding, restabilizing, with the emotional equilibrium following that conjunction. The sun and moon are square Pluto. So this is another reason there's a lot going on underneath the surface. Pluto, the modern ruler of the Scorpio full moon, in square to the sun and moon. This is very, very significant. This is very, very powerful. This is a big moment here of, wake up call, of disillusion, of letting go, of becoming aware of whatever you need to become aware of. Seeing which houses this full moon falls in your chart can help you understand what you need to become aware of, which life areas are being impacted. This is highly transformational, highly alchemical. This is really also about the new consciousness, Pluto in Aquarius. How are you in alignment with the new consciousness, open and embracing it, participating with it, co-creating with it, being a vessel of it? This can simply be opening yourself to your next level of being a vessel for the new consciousness. As Taurus, the sun in Taurus linked to our physical body, the moon in Scorpio is really focused on more of that alchemical process of the new consciousness, letting go of anything that's not in alignment so that there is space to really take on as much of that new consciousness as possible and come together powerfully with groups of people. So, this is a wonderful time to be going within. This is also a wonderful time to be receiving support from like-minded, like-hearted, resonant groups that you feel connected to. And these are likely to be forward-thinking, astrologically minded folks, or, energy healing, Reiki minded folks, whatever you're into spiritually. This could be in your local community, permaculture groups, whatever, again, that you're passionate with, whatever causes you're passionate about too, with this Aquarius coming together potentially to solve and resolve and feeling this sense of like ignited after the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction. I'm also filming and recording this video well in advance of the full moon. So it is March 30th at this time that I am forecasting for this full moon. And so I know that there's a lot I don't know that's going to be revealed, after the April 8th solar eclipse and then the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction. And so really knowing that a lot is going on underneath the surface, and that's okay. That's what it's all about. Mercury is also still retrograde at this time, helping us with our mental transformation. It will station direct at 15 degrees 58 minutes on April 25th, so a couple days after this full moon. So there's still that sense of reviewing and checking and reprogramming the mental body, reprogramming the sense of self, reorienting one's identity structures based on all the changes, the upgrades, the transformations that are taking place at this time. And again, that is really, really normal. This can also be a physically productive time, as it's in the sign of Aries, that you're really getting a lot done and that there's energy there to channel powerfully through the mental body. This can be very focused, and through the physical body. So if you're not already, this is a good time to be definitely moving energy through your physical body, through exercise or other ways, manual labor. I've been shoveling sand, hauling wheelbarrows, carrying heavy rocks, things like this, in addition to yoga and walking and other things I like to do for exercise. With Mars, the ruler of the full moon, the ancient ruler conjunct Neptune, this is spiritually minded physical activity as well. So your energy could also feel lower at this time. Mars will conjunct Neptune following the full moon around April 28th. So this can be a sense of having no energy, at the same time feeling like you need to move the energy, and just being really present with your body as you oscillate through that process. And knowing that if you're really active, planning for times where you can be more passive and be resting more as well. And that's there may be a sense of a real spiritually driven, soul driven need for action, and there will be energy given to you for that level of action that is being required and asked for at this time. Looking now at the galactic alignments, this table here, you can see that there is a conjunct or opposite alignment with nearly everything, actually everything, except Chiron and Aries. And Chiron for so long was making alignments with Alpharet star and Tau Ceti star, that now Chiron is taking a break, at least from the stars that are in this particular calculator. Chiron is certainly offering us star energy and star consciousness, I am sure, from other stars that may just not be on this calculator. So knowing that as well. But our galactic soul families are with us from the Shapley Attractor, Sirma star in Virgo, Alpharat star Andromeda, Spica and Arcturus, Markab and Skiat star in Pegasus, Beta Centauri Hadar and Centaurus. These were streaming through the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction, are streaming through the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction, so they are still very much present in this full moon. Saturn with Achernar star and Eridanus constellation. We have Neptune opposite the supergalactic center as well, and Pluto conjunct Altair star also. In the next slide, we'll talk more about the rulers of this full moon, Mars and Pluto, and their galactic alignments. But right now, just know at the time of this full moon, it seems very synchronistic that we just have this Jupiter-Uranus conjunction in Taurus that is all about galactic contact. And then the full moon right after it, we have all of these galactic alignments. So this is an invitation to connect with your galactic soul family, invite in your enlightened galactic soul family, come into greater awareness of your multidimensional self. They are here, they are present, they are assisting from the formless and the invisible realms very, very powerfully. And really, this is highlighted by the moon's alignment, conjunct alignment to Shapley Attractor. Shapley Attractor is one of the cosmic anomalies of our universe. That could be a black hole, a series of black holes. It is the source of pretty much our known universe. And this has the quality here where, with the moon in alignment, I was speaking about the heightened sense of emotions and sensitivity, and this would certainly be the case here. This would be amplified by that Shapley Attractor. It's also like frequential high dose energy coming through, higher consciousness streams coming through. So laying down, earthing, grounding, and really being open to receive these frequencies. This can be divine downloads. This can be healing within the body. This can be expanded awareness of your soul self. This can be spiritual guidance. This can be kinds of art that you're inspired to create, channeling that comes through, writing that comes through, song that comes through, dance, movement. This can be soul aligned activities. I mean, this can come through in so many different forms. This is like a big activation of your intuition. And with that said, this is a good idea to practice energy clearing techniques that you know how to do, especially with this biquintile to Neptune. Practice energy clearing, work with water as an element for that clearing, and this will ensure that your working with Shapley is really beautiful. It's also, when I connect with Shapley, this is like the singularity, the still point. This is a place where you can go inside, and it doesn't matter what kind of trauma, drama, etc. that's going on in the outside world. You can access that still like nothingness point within and just be held in the sacredness of the void and not be afraid of it. It's like a retreat. Moon conjunct Shapley Attractor, this is like the ultimate retreat and an invitation that any emotions that are coming up, just like go into them. Go into them, be with that void space, release them into Shapley. Shapley's there to assist you. So really, really beautiful, powerful alignment with Shapley. This can also have the quality of attracting into your life, you know, the people, the relationships, the connections that you need at this time. And I'm actually understanding this as we will talk about the Sabian symbols in a moment here as well. Know that the higher your frequency is, the higher your point of attraction is. And this can really foster the bringing in of tremendous value into your life, into your field for your support, your highest good, as well as the highest good of all the totality of the earth and beyond the earth as well. These are the higher frequencies of Shapley Attractor. Now, I want to zoom in on Mars and Pluto, the rulers of this full moon. First, drawing your attention to Mars at 24 of Pisces conjunct the star Markov in Pegasus constellation, and you can see the star in the winged horse here. And this is really, really beautiful energy. According to Bernadette Brady, Mars with Markov is to be honest and act in an open-handed way, to show great persistence and consistency over many years in striving to obtain that goal, a time where society is asked to take a stand. So you can see this can play out in many different levels. This is inviting us into radical honesty. This is inviting us to unify our spiritual will, our divine will. This is also divine and sacred knowledge, embodied, remembered. This can be cellular and DNA activation of that deep knowledge of our ancestors, human ancestors, galactic ancestors, really coming alive to be embodied here. This is also that spiritually driven activity that compels us to be consistent and disciplined in our practice and to be open-minded in our orientation to continue expanding our consciousness into greater and ever more refined frequencies of love. Also, a time where society is asked to take a stand. We may be seeing this more on the global stage as more of us feel empowered to say no to certain elements of consensus reality and to be co-creating a new consensus reality that is a bit more enlightened and a bit more in alignment with the new consciousness. So there can be a sense of non-compliance, like peaceful non-compliance, like thinking about Gandhi and how he was saying no to certain things, and there can be this sense of like a peaceful revolution where you're just no longer engaging in those structures of war and separation and greed and religious trauma and shame and guilt and patterns of power over and these kinds of energies, and really focusing on the new paradigm that is ready to be born and is being birthed through each of us with our unique soul gifts, talents, and qualities. We each have a specific role to play in that. Pluto in alignment with Altair. We're coming into the final weeks of this alignment being most strong for this year. And Pluto at the time of this full moon is extra strong because you can see Pluto will station retrograde on May 2nd. Not too long after this full moon, it stations retrograde and will be retrograde until October 11th. I want to say also for all the retrogrades I mentioned, I made a video about this year and all of its retrogrades by planet, looking at the galactic alignment. So if you want to learn more about the retrograde cycles, definitely check out that video. When a planet stations retrograde, its symbolism and frequency is stronger. And like I said, this alignment to Altair at 2 degrees 7 minutes of Aquarius will be strongest around the time Pluto stations retrograde. So we get this really strong influx of Pluto Altair energy. Altair is a star in the neck of Aquila, the eagle. And you can see the interpretation from Bernadette Brady about these two together. Always trying to work from the strongest position, to seek to dominate one's field, to support those in authority in order to grow in strength. the people are told that the end justifies the mean. So you can see how this can kind of dovetail with the Mars and Markov people asked to take a stand. Potentially people are asked to take a stand because something they're being told is like not cool, is not okay, right? Like, no, the ends does not justify the means. Like, we are in this process of life, and it's about how you do it as much as it is about that result, if not more so about how you do it in the process of being it and doing it and achieving it in integrity. So, very, very interesting energy here. This also has to do with power, changing from this paradigm of power over power concentrated within certain egos, certain institutions, corporations, global powers, etc., and really concentrating power within each of us, awakening into the power of love, coming together powerfully in community to assert our power, our sovereignty from a more unified new consciousness perspective. We will see a little later too. I'm going to pull at the end a Galactic Heritage card, and it really relates to this Pluto and Altair energy, I feel, as well. One last thing I'll say about these two alignments is around the time of this full moon. Obviously, the galactic and earthly eagles, the galactic winged horses, flying horses, as well as our earthly horses, these animal kingdom friends may be more available and present for connection. So I invite you to explore that also and have fun with that. Y'all are gonna laugh. I prepared slides on the wrong Sabian symbols. I prepared slides on the Sabian symbol for 3 Scorpio and 3 Taurus, and I don't know if that was wishful thinking or what. So I'm going to share with you the correct degree points and Sabian symbols. So for Scorpio 5, it is a massive rocky shore, resists the pounding of the sea, the inertia of all institutionalized procedures. Slow is the rise of the land from the vast ocean, but once it is formed, it develops a formidable resistance to change in spite of storms. Likewise, once a culture has expressed its basic symbols and its particular way of thinking, feeling, and acting in concrete institutions, these change very slowly indeed. The individual who came to the great city soon finds his life set by the rhythms of city living, which obliterate vaster life processes and the moving tides of evolution. This is the last of the 5 symbols of the 43rd sequence. We see in it how binding and resistant a communal way of life can become. In this, there is strength and stability, and these are necessary factors in the social life of man. Until new horizons beckon, the key word is stability. On the one hand, this feels like a very powerful and helpful frequency of stability that we are receiving after an intense eclipse season and after this powerful Jupiter-Uranus conjunction in Taurus. Stability. Okay, thank you very much. I think it also is speaking to the dynamic change and transformation processes of the institutions and ways of being that do not wish to change and upgrade and update and be more in alignment with the new consciousness, that this may be an upwelling, a powerful upwelling of a greater sense of control and contraction and constriction to keep things the way they are, the way they always have been, to keep power concentrated in certain places and not be everywhere else. And so the invitation at a personal level is to explore, where are we being resistant and where can we be more open to change and transformation? And also, okay, all the change and transformation that's happening. How do I stabilize the frequency? This has been an intention for my Reiki sessions. I cannot count how many times this year. Because the upgrades are so continuous, and I feel the need continuously to stabilize my frequency within the new frequencies that are being received. So, this can be a very powerful support to stabilize the activations of eclipse season and Jupiter Uranus and integrate and alchemize and be able to move with that new current, that new energy stream, and stabilize the new consciousness in greater structure and greater form. And this is really going to be the antidote to the so-called powers that be that may be cracking down and constricting and trying to control. So, in what way are you giving your power away to those and saying, "Oh, well, I can't change because X, Y, Z"? No, reclaim that power, stabilize the new frequencies, and boldly, Aquila the eagle, Pluto Altair, go in the direction of the new consciousness and understand that the frequencies you are stabilizing can be stabilized within the material world. That's the whole point of an earth human existence. The Sabian symbol for Taurus 5 is wow, this is a major one. So this is a widow at an open grave, the impermanence of all material and social bonds. All natural compounds decay, said the Buddha. The most beautiful and most enjoyed substance loses its potential energy through continuous actualization, and the principle of integration and form is withdrawn, leaving the void, the open grave that ends all attachments. The void is the great challenge. What next? One must begin anew, and if possible, at a higher, more inclusive and universal, less egocentric level. The fifth conclusive stage of the sequence, which deals with root elements and basic actions and responses, may seem negative, yet it opens a door to self-renewal. Beyond the personal attachment rises the possibility of participating in a larger sphere of existence. This possibility rarely manifests itself except as one is ready to discard the past. This is one of those symbols that really makes me, whew, wow, whenever it comes up. And the interpretations are from Dane Roger. You can see all of them in Astrological Mandala on mindfire.ca website. The book is there for free. So the widow at the open grave, immediately in reading those words, the interpretation made me think of the cycles of incarnation and past lives and future lives and parallel lives and all of this, and how I myself have struggled with the concepts because I've sat in Buddhist circles in this lifetime and other lifetimes, Tibetan Buddhist circles, where there was not the sense of past lives and soul. There was not the sense of soul, and yet there was this sense of, Buddhas and enlightened ones being able to reincarnate, tulkus being able to reincarnate within certain lineage, Dalai Lamas like knowing how to incarnate into a new body and carrying that stream of consciousness, but without the concept of soul. So I've kind of gone back and forth. How do past lives work, parallel lives, future lives? Like, what is the soul? What is the continuous thread? And really come to this. The best way I can get it all to work for myself is not having this sense of possessiveness around what it is that is carried through, and that it's more open and fluid, and the soul stream is so large and so vast that it's not like this, tiny human, Taylor personality was incarnated as this other person in this other lifetime. It's like the soul frequency that's streaming through me is the same that was streaming through this other person at this other time. And even acknowledging the no timeness of existence, that time is a construct, that we are working with earth humans within third dimension, within first heaven of consciousness. So the symbol is speaking to that, and I think a greater awareness of the multidimensional self, the mysteries of reincarnation, and all of these things. And I'm just sharing my perspective, and I think the invitation here is to explore your own perspective and maybe have greater realizations of that. Where are you going to get that information? From the void. The interpretation talks about the void, and this is Shapley Attractor coming through this full moon. So definitely an invitation to connect with Shapley, to connect with the void, to connect with the stillness, that still point, that singularity, and to go in it and receive the embodied experience of what this is about. What is soul? What is spirit? What is reincarnation? What are the mysteries of life and death, resurrection and ascension? This is Scorpio. This is the essence of Scorpio, and inviting those mysteries to wake up within each cell of our body and each frequency in our energy field, so that we can communicate it and know it and perceive it and channel it and have a deeper, greater, more expansive, embodied experience of these sacred metaphysical and physical truths of our beingness and our reality and our experience in creation. Very, very important to discard the past, let it go. Let this be a new cycle. Let this be an opportunity to really let go of anything that needs to be let go of, to let die Scorpio, Pluto, let die the old versions of self, to bury them with reverence and respect and gratitude, and be reborn into more of who you truly are, your authentic self, empowered for world peace, empowered for cosmic peace, empowered agent of the new consciousness, co-creating heaven on earth here and now. Thank you very much. The final slide that I have here has the Galactic Heritage card from Lisa Royal Holt's deck that I pulled, asking for the higher guidance for this full moon for every single person who watches this video. So the card that came out was number 18, Arrogance. Lyra is the galactic species and the constellation, the area of the Milky Way galaxy, the consciousness within the Milky Way galaxy, the Lyrans in the present timeline. So a second era civilization. And I'm going to read to you the description for the card because, seeing this arrogance, it's like that can be triggering, right? That can like put up defenses. But I think based on everything that I've already shared, you can kind of see where the arrogance can be. And so I'm just going to read to you what it says here. One of the more negative Lyran traits is that of arrogance, the belief that only they know what is best. In ancient days, they pushed their agenda and beliefs on many civilizations with dire consequences. Humans have this tendency as well. Often the intentions are good, but the outcome is not. Examine your own inner motivation for the things that you do. Is there a feeling of superiority? Conversely, is there a feeling of inferiority within you? I would definitely say that's what to look at, the inferiority and the giving power away. But also, any kind of spiritual superiority needs to be checked as well. This is an ancient pattern. Do not concern yourself with others' opinions or actions. Tend your own garden. Tend your own garden, which leads to true inner peace. And inner peace is contributing to peace on earth and peace within the cosmos as well. That's not airy-fairy. That's simply an understanding of intention, energy, and frequency. This is the final Lyran card from this time stream. This Lyran trait is shared by humans, and both Lyran and human culture have to transcend this challenge before they can evolve as a species. The Lyrans eventually evolved beyond it, but it was difficult. There were times in the Lyran past where arrogance almost destroyed them, and unless humans move beyond arrogance, we may not only destroy our planet, but our species as well. If this card comes up in your reading, truthfully look at where arrogance may play a part in your life. Is it in your beliefs, your actions, your attempts to control others? This can be the shadow side of Scorpio. If you honestly do not find any, then look to those around you in your life. Is their arrogance affecting you in negative ways? If so, it is a lesson for you to access your strong, confident Lyran energy in a balanced way and keep your personal boundaries intact. This is also the Mars, Neptune energy, Saturn, and Pisces. Boundaries, boundaries, boundaries at every level of being, healthy boundaries. I'm as much learning about these. I've been a student of boundaries my whole life. And so I'm not saying this from any kind of I know boundaries perspective. I'm still learning them too. But this is a big message here about boundaries. Keep your personal boundaries intact. Often we teach people how to treat us through our actions or non-actions. Take a good, honest look at how this theme plays out in your life and take whatever measures are needed to create balance from a place of loving kindness. So as light workers, healers, empaths, etc., a lot of times I feel this energy can be present in the narcissist empath kind of dynamic. And I know Heather Insworth has been talking about this and talked about this during eclipse season. I also have conventional psychological training, was in a PsyD program, learning clinical psychology, and received my Master of Science in Psychology. So I am aware of the narcissist frequency from a clinical perspective, but also a personal life perspective. So this also may be themes about that with narcissists on the global stage, narcissists within one's life too, and really doing the frequential cleaning to stop attracting those individuals and really holding compassion and forgiveness and space for the fact that they exist in our world, and how have we contributed to this phenomenon existing in our reality, and to invite love to really connect and empower any spaces within self that are narcissistic or attracting narcissists, or however that dynamic may be working through you. This is a way to personally engage in that process. And also, a lot of times in my energy work, there's cord healing, releasing, spirit release, cord dissolving. I invite this in the Reiki journeys and invocations too, to be there. And that kind of work helps with that narcissist empath boundaries dynamic. So this is a big theme here. And also with Pluto and Mars being so highlighted, themes of control being really highlighted here, to understand that this may be taking place. And if it is, it's really just coming from fear after all the changes of eclipse season, Jupiter, Uranus. There can be a lot of fear and like feeling threatened by the presence of the new paradigm. Oh, this is reminding me of a ayahuasca ceremony I was in actually, and actually seeing how when beings are operating from a lower frequency and the power of love, or in the case of the ayahuasca ceremony, the power of Reiki was brought in. Also, the power of love was being brought in, and how the lower dimensional energies were actually afraid of that power and attacking it, and the power of love and Reiki was just enveloping, and there was no attack that was able to penetrate it, because the light and the love just enveloped all that is. To understand that the arrogance and the fear and the war and the battle are all just threatened by the power of the light, the power of the love, and there's no need to fight. And there is simply just inviting the love and the light to be there and to invite that love and light to be there within and for yourself as well in this powerful Scorpio full moon. So I will leave you with that. If you would like to connect more, I would love to connect. TaylorNorrisReiki.com is my website. Please join the class April 20th, Co-Creating Heaven on Earth. I offer free new moon distant Reiki shares, a variety of astrology readings, Reiki sessions, as well as Reiki classes. And I would love to connect with you more and look forward to doing so. Thank you so much for being a part of my soul family, guiding you home to heaven on earth within yourself with Reiki and astrology. Aho, amen, namaste. And so it is. Mahalo.